What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the newest episode of A1 Agents. I've got one of my dear friends here, Mr. Kenny with KennyJTV. What's up, Kenny?
How you doing? How you doing? It's an honor to be here.
So for those of you guys that don't know Kenny's a good friend of mine that I met through the YouTube space. He's somebody that started this journey way before me. I don't actually think it was way before me, but
Yeah, it wasn't way before. Yeah, around the same time, honestly.
but he's been crushing it, and we just connected. We both talk insurance, and I think you guys are gonna love this interview. So Kenny was a sales manager for Enterprise Rental Car, right? Before becoming an insurance agent at State Farm. It wasn't long. It was only 5 months into the State Farm journey that he branched off and opened up his own independent insurance agency. He, during that time, has also been growing his YouTube channel. He is growing in arguably one of the tougher industries to grow in because it's pretty niche, right? Our insurance industry, but he's been doing a heck of a job. He's adding a ton of value to people, aspiring insurance agents, whether that's just passing your insurance test, whether that's starting your own insurance agency, and you've got to follow him on social media as well. Kenny, thank you for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
So Kenny, for those of my audience that don't know who you are, please share a little bit about your story.
My name is Kenny from KennyJTV, as he said. I am an independent insurance broker. I've been in insurance a little over almost 2 years now. Wow, time really flies. Like you said, I was with Enterprise, and in the pandemic, I chose to leave just because I was overworked and underpaid and didn't feel valued at the company I was at. And I researched while I was not working, what is something that I could educate and help people will also make a very lucrative salary off of. And insurance kept popping up. And I'm just honored to be able to just educate the community on different products and life insurance, homeowners, whatever it is, and just make sure that they're properly protected. A lot of times I see where, a lot of agents just sell insurance for their pockets and not for the genuine interests of the client.
Yeah. And you had no knowledge of insurance. You are just, and which happens to be the same audience that you cater to on your YouTube channel, people that are just barely getting started in this industry. And so talk about what made you, I mean, you were only at State Farm for 5 months, man. That's a kind of a crazy leap to just say, all right, I got to do my own thing. Yeah. So talk about your mindset and what went into that.
Well, working for myself, actually being unemployed and just having that freedom, I was like, I don't want to ever work for someone again. I knew I wanted to go to insurance, but I knew that I needed some type of knowledge about the systems and processes and how insurance works. So why not go to somewhere like an Allstate or a State Farm and just learn, the basics of insurance and then go out on my own. I had great training. I had a great agency owner, great office manager that really taught me a lot. And that did help me become more successful with insurance. And like starting out with State Farm, I learned the power of social media. I made a post when I first started on LinkedIn. It had like 300,000 hits, and people were reaching out to my agency owner, giving her referrals all over the country because of that post. And that's when I said, I can do this on my own. I can do it through social media, and I can do it well.
That's awesome. One, I was telling you before I even hit record on this video is you are probably going to be the most relatable to my entire audience, because a lot of my audience is just getting started in insurance, just like you. And it's kind of funny because if people know me, they probably know you already. So yeah. It's cool that we're making this connection. And I just, you've been awesome, and you've been very supportive of my grind on YouTube, and I love what you're doing. But I wanted to ask you, for those of the audience that they are just getting started, great. This is a good starting point. Running the business, entrepreneurship's not for everybody, but for those that think it is, what steps did you take? Could you walk us through the independent route? Because even I have questions on going independent, right? Not that I ever will. I believe blue, right? I'm pretty all stated out. But for those that, what steps did you take?
First, like getting like the business entity, the LLC and things like that, getting my agency license, because of course, as you know, like I have my insurance license, but if I want to get paid under the entity has to have their license as well. And the biggest thing was carrier appointments. Just because, you know, with Allstate, you're riding through Allstate, but when you're an independent broker, you have to get your own carrier appointments. But it's a cool thing called an agency cluster out here that I'm a part of, and I was able to get those big companies. Like I can write through Allstate, I can write through Travelers, Liberty Mutual, all these different companies, and that's really what helped me. A lot of people aren't aware of agency clusters. I literally pay like $105 a month, and I have unlimited access to all these companies, and they are able to service all of my products as well. So I don't even have to really service. It's sales heavy. So all I do is sell, they service. I do a little bit of servicing just because I have that rapport with my clients and I don't want them to have to call that number to get with someone. So I do a little servicing, but if I was like, I don't want to do any servicing, I wouldn't honestly have to. But it's not honestly a lot different from the captive side. It's just you're representing different carriers. And the hardest part for me was learning where to place people. So like if you have a few claims on your record, I can't put you through Allstate. I can't put you through Travelers. I have to go through maybe a E&S line or something like that to make sure that you're getting your correct coverage. So just learning that. But once I learned how to place people in the different carriers, the rest was pretty easy.
Yeah, I envy your ability to retain just about every single one of your customers. Like they're never going to leave you. Whereas, you know, if a customer wants to leave me, I can't put them in a different, company and stuff like that. But what was the most difficult thing, because there's a lot that goes into starting a business, from, like you said, the entities, from the insurance licenses, and then getting the insurance licenses for the entities as well. And, and then I'm not sure if you have to pay, E&O insurance. I'm pretty sure you do, right? E&O insurance. And so what was the most difficult part?
The whole process was honestly.
Were you doing this while you were still at State Farm, or you just took the leap and then just kind of built your plane on the way down?
So I had to take a leap because legally I was in contract with State Farm, so I couldn't do that. So I had to wait till I left State Farm. The hardest part of the whole process was just like the different systems to use. When I first started, for like the first 2 weeks, I didn't have a CRM just because I'm like, I don't need one. Yeah, that was horrible. And like just staying organized. So organizational skills was my biggest downfall at first, because I thought I'd be able to remember to call everyone back, to send the quotes. And I quickly learned that that wasn't going to happen. That, and like, just staying motivated. You might have a rough week, you might have a rough day, but it's like nobody's really pushing you because it's your business. You're the one supposed to be encouraging other people. And then, I'm a one-man team. So if I don't want to get out of bed, I don't have to. But then, of course, I don't make money. So it's like I have to always, constantly motivate myself. And then also, working in the pandemic, so I'm at home. So it's like always being in these four walls by myself. Just got to find different ways to keep it fresh. And because, like you always say on your channel, insurance is repetitive. It's not anything that's crazy. It's pretty repetitive. So just staying encouraged and motivated and always finding like a new love in insurance has kept me, going.
Well, you're definitely passionate about insurance because you are the insurance guru.
I am.
Man, I love the way you brand yourself. I love the way that you put yourself out there. So you're able to service people all over the country, right? Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's a huge, I'm missing the boat on that, man. I only can service my state.
But you're killing it though. You're killing it.
We are, man. Thank you. So I want to go back to that question, the CRM. For those that don't know, what is a CRM and which CRM do you use? And it's basically to manage all of your prospects, all your leads, right?
Yeah. So a CRM is a customer relation management. So I actually have like all my policies in there, client information, prospect information, when to follow up, renewals. It's like an all-in-one. I use HubSpot. They are partnered with Google and it's 100% free. They do have a version that you can pay money for, but I haven't had to use it. With the free version, you can have unlimited clients or prospects in there, and then you can have up to 1 million users. I'm really big on being very cost efficient. So I like to use systems that are free, but also very efficient. So it's benefited me really well. I have it on my phone, my laptop, everywhere. So it'll shoot me a reminder if I'm out and I have to do something, and I can literally do it right from my phone. So I would highly recommend HubSpot. I did a lot of research looking at the top CRMs that cost money and don't cost money. And HubSpot was like consistently number one on the independent side.
Wow. Okay. Well, what do you find yourself focusing more on? Is it personal lines or commercial lines? I see a little bit of both.
Yeah. So my main thing is commercial and life insurance. They're like the main things. Like I would say probably 80% of my PNC are commercial. And then I would say on like life insurance is probably on that side, probably 40% of my business as well. With commercial, I enjoy, working with the business owners, and with State Farm, we didn't do a lot of commercial, and I always wanted to. I wanted to build that network of business owners because, businesses, you need insurance to run businesses, but for car insurance, if you let it lapse, oh, it's fine. I'll just pay pay the fee. But on my commercial side, I see a lot of people are more prone to pay that before they pay their car insurance. So that's why I wanted to go more so on the commercial side and just learn different businesses. I have all type of businesses like staffing agencies, catering businesses. I just did some type of like art studio. So all different types of, commercial policies. It's really interesting to work with.
It's always nice to work with business owners. They're just on a different level than a lot of the, PNC folks. I mean, it sounds terrible for me saying it like that, but
right, I get it.
But we understand their challenges. We understand what they're going through. And when I was a business banker, it was fun working with them. But similar to, State Farm, we don't focus on it too much. My company doesn't have the appetite for it. But do you find it challenging that when you spend all that time working on a commercial quote only to find out, because they're very time consuming, right? To find out that you're not able to write it, or after back and forth with the underwriters, they just tell you no? Or have you kind of niched down and you know what to approach? You know which industries work best for you?
I've done a little of both. But the cool thing with my, my agency cluster, they do all the work. So if I do a commercial, which is crazy coming from State Farm and having to fill out this long application and fill it in, I have to answer like 5 questions, and then I'll shoot it to like all the carriers at once. And so I just did a restaurant the other day. It was a really good policy. I had to answer 4 questions and I had to quote back in 10 minutes. So even if they don't bind or they're not like, I don't know if I want it, I don't really waste any time. It literally takes me 2 minutes to do a commercial quote. So it's pretty beneficial, honestly.
Okay. What were the upfront costs to besides the licensing, things like that? Was there any fees that you had to pay to go indie?
Honestly, no. Besides like the agency cluster, I paid $330 down and then $105 a month, and then like my E&O insurance. But of course, that's how much experience you have. Besides that, not really. I started for under $1,000. Like, of course, you want to get your email, your website. My parents actually gifted me with my website. My cousin's like this big web designer in Germany, so he made it. And then it came with the email and domain and all that. So besides that, I didn't really spend a ton of money on starting the agency.
That's awesome, man. Wow, that's really cool, man. You're going to inspire a lot of people with this message, man, for sure. All right, now talk about YouTube. You've documented your journey. Yeah. And it's really cool of you, because not only were you taking this leap, not only were you entering the unknown, but you're like, I'm gonna hit record and document the whole thing as well, and just share the journey with people. And you've built a great audience for YouTube. You built a whole support system. I see the comments. I see, how much people value your existence, right? And your willingness to share and document your journey. You want to talk about that? What went into that?
So I was on YouTube before, but just kind of doing anything with your friends, like the pranks and whatever. And I started YouTube, and literally my first intro video was July 2nd. I wasn't even in insurance yet, but I did a YouTube video saying like, I'm now an insurance agent and this is what this channel is about. And every week as I learned about insurance, I was putting out information, because I knew that when I went on, to look on YouTube, there was nobody that was doing it that was young, for one. And then there was nobody that looked like me on YouTube talking about insurance. So I wanted to just be that face for like a lot of young people reach out to me saying, I didn't even know younger people were in insurance. And I always say, go look at Nick, like he's killing it. He's got all these insurance agencies, like he's really doing it. So I wanted to just be that light. And then, one thing led to another. It was a snowball effect, because my video of how to pass the PNC exam just did really well. I think it's at like 54,000 views right now.
Loaded, man.
Yeah, 54,000 views. Like my channel streamed in 20 different countries, and then it turned into almost like a business, So now like people book me for calls weekly. People reach out to me for coaching. I'm actually about to release an ebook beginning of the year for how to start like an independent insurance agency. So it just turned into this big thing, and it's really nice to just talk to different people all over the country. And I've even talked to people in like India and a few other countries as well. I didn't even know I know they had insurance over there, but I didn't know it was so similar. And just helping them, how to start an agency. And it's just encouraging just that I'm able to truly help people, because I love to, give back and help. And that's really why I got into insurance to begin with.
Okay. Now, like you said, for those that might want to book a call with you after, after they get introduced to you, and a lot of people are going to have questions, like I have a ton, even though I'm not India, I still I've always been curious about the process. It's been a subject I've avoided talking about because I don't like talking about what I don't know about.
No, absolutely.
So if they wanted to, I'm definitely going to plug in all your info, but if they wanted to book a call with you or, just connect with you, how do they find you?
So you can go on my company website. I'll send you all the information. It's usually up there on all my YouTube description boxes. It has all of the information. So my website, how to book a call, and some other things up there as well. Those are usually the best two ways to like reach out to me. And I'm pretty fast because I'm always on my computer, my emails, and always on my phone as well. So if people reach out to me or try to book a call, like it'll come right to my phone.
Okay. All right, let's talk about, you do a great job marketing yourself. Okay, you do a phenomenal job marketing yourself, and you're now tapping into the reels and the TikTok stuff like that. So I see you, boy. So, talk about marketing, man. Talk about what you've done to attract clients, because you don't buy internet leads, do you?
No, I've never bought. And the main reason is when I was with State Farm, she would buy leads. I don't know if it was the vendor she was using, but the conversion rate was crazy low. And then when they did enter, they would be cussing us out like, why are you calling me? I was doing it for a sweepstakes. It was really bad. So I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with that. So I worked my warm market. And now with the reels, I actually looked at my analytics last night. I've been dropping them since December 1st. And, it's the later part of December. Last month, I reached 2,500 accounts. And this month, I had 83,000 impressions on my Instagram from consistently posting reels. And I follow a lot of realtors. They give me really good ideas. That post reels, and all of them say like they have grown like crazy, and literally daily I'll get requests for quotes from my reels. Like I did one today about renters insurance and how 40% of renters don't have renters insurance, and people are reaching out to me saying, I didn't even know renters insurance was a thing. So just marketing has helped, because social media is free, and we have to get out here and be able to market on, like I market on Facebook. That's where a lot of my like business comes from. I'm in a lot of business owner group chat, so that'll help. Instagram, and of course YouTube. People always reach out to me on YouTube about different insurance and things like that. So I try to always be consistent, and I don't like to post like different flyers on my page. I think that's very salesy, but I like to mix lifestyle with insurance and show people both sides of me to know that I am like a real person, and seem very relatable to the client.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there that when I have new staff and they want to create a separate social media for business, I'm like, that usually doesn't work. People like to see both sides, and so definitely a good thing there. So what you told me this already, but for the audience, what are you most proud of, man, in this 2-year journey?
Just growing the social media, like just being able to like do it for free, like leads. Like every day I get leads or referrals from referral partners, from current clients, from friends, from family. Like people are always sending me business, and it's never a day where I'm just like, well, what am I going to do today? When I first started, I didn't know what I was doing or how I was going to do it, but I'm like, I have to. There is no plan B, so I have to figure it out. And every day, like I was getting business. And that's probably what I'm most proud of, is just helping people. And then, like I said before, just educating everyone on, especially the importance of life insurance, because so many people don't have it. And if you go on GoFundMe at any time, there's nearly a million searches of people that are looking to bury a loved one. So we can just stop that and get people to get life insurance, because as you know, it's not super expensive, to get life insurance, but they're just not educated. So people aren't making educated decisions on if they do or do not need life insurance.
Okay. And talk about, if you had to give advice for what's Well, actually, let me ask you this. Was there an aha moment in the last 2 years, something that just really clicked for you, or a piece of advice that you got that was just like, oh my goodness, something that stands out to you?
My dad said when I first started, because my parents are serial entrepreneurs, like millionaires, they're killing the game. And they said, it'll work if you work it. They said, as much as you put into, as much as you get out. And it's so true. Like, it's been, of course, days where I'm like, I don't really feel like, if your mindset's like, it's not going to be a great day, it's not going to be a great day. But if you go in here and you really like go hard, put boots on the ground and just give it all you got, you will see that, ROI, and you'll be like, wow, this really does work. So just putting as much into it and then getting that back was probably the biggest advice that I've gotten, that I've lived by.
Okay. That's really cool that you got the support of your parents, man.
Yeah.
um Talk about anything you want to share to. I just feel like in my heart that a big part of my audience, and maybe some of yours too, is they're not entrepreneurs yet. They're either just getting their insurance license and working for an insurance company, or they are working for an insurance company and they might want to take the leap. Any advice for those people?
Yeah, you definitely have to have an entrepreneurial spirit. Um, I always heard this old saying that just because you can make a sandwich doesn't mean that you need to open a sandwich shop. So definitely do some internal, thinking, and looking at yourself and say, am I really fit to run a business? And, with the business, you're going to grow a team. Do you have the management styles? Do you have what it takes and the dedication? Because if I'm working for Nick, I can go home at 5, 6 o'clock and I'm done. But I mean, Nick's still working, Nick's still putting in the hours. So it's like, do you want all of that? I saw this TikTok that said, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, so I quit, but now I'm working 24/7. So it's like, you got to be ready, especially when you first start, to really give it your all. So definitely take that into consideration. Of course, social media shows you the luxurious side of entrepreneurship, but it's also a not so luxurious side of dealing, the meetings and getting fussed out by whoever. It's like, you have to always keep that professional face, and it's a lot, and it can be stressful. It's been days where I just close my laptop and say, I'm going to sleep. Like, I can't do it today. So it's just like, you got to be ready for anything and always be ready to adapt and handle situations professionally.
I got a question for you. What is in your opinion, the best thing about the insurance industry?
I would say that it's no inventory. Like, just hearing real estate agents saying that, oh my God, the inventory is low, we'll never run out of it because it's not tangible. Like, we're protecting people, but you could literally have 1,000 people walk into your agency right now and you can insure all of them, because it's like, it's not like we have to go pull and find it. It's all on the computer and we just type it up. So that's probably the best thing, that we'll never run out of, like, insurance, for one. And then it's like, insurance isn't going anywhere. I started in the middle of a pandemic and I've done well, so those are probably the best two things about insurance that I love.
Like that, man. We always got a problem. Oh, you don't got a car? Well, I know you might die someday. Let's get
You're going to die. That's an inevitable right there, right?
Man. Okay. All right. Let me ask you. I think we've touched on a lot so far. So let me get to my final question for you, man. So the title of this series is A1 Agents, and I like to ask everybody, because the definition of A1 is to the highest standard, or the highest of quality. And so, if you had to think about 3 standards that you live your life by, what would those 3 standards be?
Like, are you saying like characteristics of like an agent, or just
standards or philosophies that you just live by? And it could be, business related. It could be just Kenny, who you are as a person.
Oh, yeah. So the first one would definitely be all a man has is their word. So just be honest with people. Be ethical, because it's definitely going to come back to bite you in the butt. Treat others like you want to be treated, which is of course the golden rule, but it's like, you never know what people are going through, so don't take it personal. If someone's calling you, fussing you out about the car insurance, they probably have had a bad day, so just don't take it personal. And the third thing is, play hard, work hard, but play harder. Like, you don't want to work your entire life, and then you're on your deathbed and I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. So of course I work hard, but I do play hard, and I enjoy the fruits of our labor, because I mean, I can't take any of this when I leave. You know, when we leave this earth, this is all going to be left behind. So you have to enjoy it while you're here.
Kenny, how old are you, man?
I'm 24.
24.
24, yes.
Kenny, you are ahead of your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
ahead of your time, man. And I love following you. I love watching. You know, you do have a lot of fun, you know.
I love it. Right.
And when you come out to Vegas, man, I'm taking you out. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't wait.
Dude, 24, man. I just gotta acknowledge you, man, because you are ahead of your time. You're gonna do amazing things in this industry.
Thank you.
You're gonna exceed whatever expectations that you have for yourself. And I promise you that. So that's just me, my 32-year-old self, just, you know, when I was 27 when I started my journey. And and you know, and you started this at what, 22?
Yeah. And actually, it's so funny that I had like this epiphany. I don't know if you've seen this Uproar. It's like this show. It's like a reality show, but not really, about these luxury real estate agents. They're kind of taking over Tampa. And so I'm actually getting into, next year I'm launching like my luxury division of my agency, and it's going to be insuring like the yachts, the $1 million homes, the foreign cars. And I want to like make avenues that haven't really been created, because when I was looking up luxury insurance brokers or luxury insurance agents, there were none out there. But these people need insurance as well. So it's like, why aren't we, you know, reaching out to these people? So it's like I always get different ideas and motivations from weird things. This is from a reality show. I got this motivation to do this. So now like I'm working on that. I've got my carriers, which is great about being on the independent side. I reached out to like the territory manager, and he sent me a long list of carriers that I can use for Ferraris, Lambos, $1 million homes, yachts, whatever. So it's like that was really cool. So I'm really excited about that.
Hey man, I want to see you on Netflix.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna have my own show. Right.
Man, you're gonna inspire a lot of people along the way. You know, because I feel like our industry, and we've talked about this before on our YouTube channels, we are really kind of paving the way for younger folks to find interest in this industry. And I think, you know, the way most people receive information nowadays, it's not by, you know, Googling and reading articles, it's through video format. And so we talk about this all the time, man. We're both some pioneers
yes,
in the space, man. And you know, and I look forward to just, you know, I'm grateful to be your friend, man. So
I'm grateful to be yours too. You've given me a lot of wisdom just on your channel in general, how to run an agency. You've been doing it for years, and you've got more than one, and you're killing it. You have a huge team, and they're all, I see them picking up on your marketing as well, and now they're making the reels and things like that, and it's amazing to see.
It's a lot of fun, man. So well, Kenny, that's all I've got, man. So again, put in your insert your plugs. How do they find you? You guys need to go watch all of his content. He drops a ton of value on the insurance industry. And how do they find you on Instagram? I don't know if you're on Facebook, but how do they find you?
So on Instagram, it's KennyJTV. YouTube, it's KennyJTV. Facebook, it's my legal name. My legal name is Kendrick. So it's Kendrick Jones on there. I do post a little insurance on there, but I'm trying to convert my Instagram to look like my YouTube, but more in a fun way, which is why I'm doing the reels and things like that. If you want to book a call, it's all in my description box on every YouTube video. If you guys have any questions, I love talking to you guys about just starting an agency, or if you're with State Farm or Allstate, what can you do to take it to the next level? How can you market yourself? So that's what we're both here for, to just give back and pour into you guys, because you know, we all started from day one and didn't know what the heck we were doing. So, you know, we're here to help.
Absolutely. Well, Kenny, thank you so much, sir. And if you guys got some value, subscribe to his channel, subscribe to mine, and destroy the like button. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Yes, sir.